Hey all, Zach of Zach of All Trades here, and this week I ran into some trouble. Owning a home means that you usually have something to take care of, which I do, but this week it was the toilet. There was a piece that wore out and it was finally time to go, and I also found out that there's one piece as well as two-piece toilets. Wasn't quite aware of that. I've been pretty familiar with two-piece and I've worked on them quite often. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Basically, with a one-piece toilet, your reservoir and your bowl are all the same piece, and you don't have that extra gasket or any of the same pieces in between. Where a two-piece, you have that separate reservoir, and then your gasket, and then your bowl. And so the kits that you look out there for are usually almost always for the two-piece. Now the one-piece kit, a little bit harder to find, and even though they're made about 20 miles from my house, I couldn't find any of the parts and ended up ordering them online. Let's take a look at what happened. So when you go to flush the toilet, basically one of the parts wore out so bad that it would pull right up and then it wouldn't reseat after the water went down. That's a pretty bad thing to happen because that makes it basically useless. Now when shopping for the kit, I saw this, all common toilet problems. And so I said, hey, this is going to take care of me. But lo and behold, what did I find out? Nope, it's actually not going to take care of me at all because it's only for the two-piece. So I looked it up online and I looked up how to fix a one-piece toilet and I found all these parts. Except they said all one-piece toilets need this little adapter. I found out a little bit later I don't need that little adapter because not all one-piece toilets need them. Some of them do. However, I did need all three of the other parts, and so that we were good with. Was that all the right parts? Did you hide some of them? No. All right. Let's keep going. First step, turn the water off. Once you're sure it's good and snug, then go ahead and give the toilet a flush. That will empty it, but it won't refill. Once it's down there and you're sure the water's not coming up, we'll go ahead and get that old part out by twisting it to the right. See how messed up that old gasket is? And now we'll go ahead and disconnect the water from beneath. Make sure to put some towels down there. And I definitely have to do a good cleaning job down there, as you can see. But a little bit of water is going to come out because there's some stuck both in the reservoir as well as in the water tower. Next, you're going to want to take either an adjustable wrench or a pipe wrench and just loosen up the plastic nut on there. Be careful not to squeeze too hard. You can break that plastic, especially if it's an older plastic. Get it started, get about one or two threads down, and then the rest of it you can just do with your hand and you don't have to keep using that big wrench. Now that that's not off, we can take this part out. Let some of that water go out. Don't put it too far. We're just going to set it down over here for now. Go ahead and wipe it out. Get as clean as possible. This is one of the few times you'll have the opportunity to do some good cleaning in here. We're going to go ahead and take that old handle off as well. Remember that the thread on this is reversed, so you have to go the other way to loosen. Now check the tower heights. They do come in different heights and it is adjustable. You can adjust that by twisting and pushing in or twisting and pulling out. Just a little bit too high, so we're going to shrink it down just a little bit, and there we go. Now we're the right size. Make sure the gasket stays on there and push it down into the hole. Then go down from beneath and go ahead and start tightening on the plastic nut, as well as put in the black filler tube. Notice the blue piece here? That's what's going to be pushing into the filler tube. But on the old piece, I had an orange piece, so we'll have to take that blue piece out and put a new orange piece in. It does come with the kit. When you're putting it in, make sure you don't push too hard because you don't want to snap that plastic piece off. So use your thumb or something and put some pressure behind it. Then go ahead and put the tube on and set that down into the filler tube. Now we'll put the valve cover back on, or flapper as they call it. That also has the chain on there. And I did notice that there's a couple extra links on the chain. They set it a couple links high, so we'll have some room for adjustment. Now we'll go ahead and put that new handle on as well. There is a shim that it comes with, so that if your toilet is formed at a spot where it wouldn't have a flat surface for the nut, you can put that shim on there. So that's why I did. Then remember again, backwards thread. That's why we're going left to tight. Now we'll go ahead and put that chain up on top. I did throw a little water down in the basin just to make sure that it wasn't leaking anywhere, and I had all my gaskets tight. But I did see that that chain does look a little tight, and I'm not too happy with that. So I do want to adjust that one or two more links down the chain. If it is too tight, you can get a slow leak, and then in the middle of the night, you're going to hear that trickle, trickle, trickle all night, and that would just drive me nuts. So we move it a couple links up the chain, attach it back to the lever of the handle. There we go. There's a little bit of slack there. It should fall nicely and flat every time we flush. Checking the action on the tower. I think we're good to go. So let's hook back up the water pipe. Once that's good and tight, then we're going to turn on the water. They do recommend changing that pipe every 5 years or so. Got the water running in. You might notice a little bit of discoloration the first time. That's probably just from the machining of the different plastics. Once you flush the first time, that'll all go away. Going to let it fill up. I did test that just to see if it stopped when it needed to stop, and it did. Be a good time to find out if it's defective or not before you put everything back together. Now what we want to see is if it fills up just under or just above the fill line. If it goes over the fill line, it will start pouring into the reservoir so that it doesn't overflow the bathroom, but this is where we adjust it. As you can see, the water went over the fill line and almost up into overflow. So I'm going to try adjusting it by turning it to the right a couple times. Just let a little bit of the water out. We don't have to do a whole flush and waste water. Give it a little push so that it runs. And look at that, we actually went way over high, so I should have been turning left, not right. So let's turn it to the left a few times. Past where it was, and another turn to adjust. Let out some more water again, get it to run. Little more water, there we go, now we're gonna run. All right, filling up. And running right up to the line, just like we wanted. That's what I learned this week, so I hope that helps some of you if you have the one-piece toilet, and if you have the two-piece, maybe we'll touch that on a video in the future. Let me know in the comments below, or email me if you have an idea for a video that you'd like to see, or any tips or tricks. If I start running out of stuff, I'm going to have to go into my physics book and teach you how to reach into space and time for all the candy that you want. Anyway, that's Zach of Zach of All Trades, co-pilot Stubby, and we're signing off for now. Have a great week.